Hello guys, my name is Salman. I hope you are all fine. So in this video I will discussing about the concept of dependency injection, coupling and inversion of control. So these concepts are related to each other. These are it's a basic concept are related to each other, but its core concept are totally different. These are different things. These are implemented in the core thing that is different, but is a basic concept are related to each other. If you miss the concept of dependency injection, you will not properly understand what is inversion of control, what is coupling, and if you miss the concept of coupling, you will not properly understand what is dependency injection and what is inversion of control. So by etc. These concepts are related to each other, but it's not the same thing. This is a totally different thing. You will need to properly understand all of these things in order to understand, in order to complete your concept with these things. So I will start from the coupling. What is coupling? Coupling in a simple thing, in a real life you will see the, in a marriage hall you will see the couple, that is woman and man, these are couple. So in programming language, what is coupling? Coupling is the relationship between two objects. That is, it's define the relationship between two objects, that is couple. If we have an A object and we have an B object, the relationship between two objects is called coupling. This couple is only defined the, but the relationship between two objects, and this is called coupling. So there are two types of coupling. First of all is high coupling and second is low coupling. So what is high coupling? High coupling, though I previously defined that coupling is the process of defining the relationship between two objects, and high coupling is the also a process of defining the relationship between two objects, but it's in a dependent way. So high coupling means that if we have two objects A and B, and these are related to each other, these objects have relationship with each other, but B object have properly dependent on A object. What does mean? B object is completely dependent on A object. Its life cycle, destroy or start, existence are completely dependent on A object. If A object exists, A object creates, then B object will create. If A object exists, then B object exists. If A object destroy, then B object will also destroy. If A object does not exist, then B object will not exist anymore. So B object is completely dependent on A object. So this is called high coupling, which means if we have four objects: A object, B object, C objects, and D objects. So B object is properly dependent on A objects, but not dependent on C object, or will not use in C. B object is only use its only scope in A object. So this is called high coupling, where relationship is defined in properly dependent way. Relationship is properly defined in a dependent way, where B object will depend on A object. So this is called high coupling. So what is low coupling? Low coupling, it's a reverse. Low coupling means if we have an A object and B object, these have relationship with each other. The relationship defined in the term of independency. It means that B object will not dependent on A object and not dependent on C. B object have relationship with A object and C object and D object and furthermore. But this B object is not dependent on any of the other object. It's purely independent of each other object. Its life cycle existence are properly independent and separate. If A object destroy, then B object will not destroy. B object have existence with their own life cycle. This is called low coupling. This is called independency of two objects. So we will I will discuss what is coupling. Coupling is the term of defining the relationship between two objects. There are two types of coupling: low coupling and high coupling. High coupling is the term of defining the relationship between two objects in a dependent way. These objects are dependent. And low coupling is the process of defining the relationship between two objects in an independent way. That is, B object is independent of A object and have their own life cycle and existence. So I will start this from the programming example. I will start from the basic example, that is TV and remote. So first of all, start I will create a class TV. TV have on value bool, that is status. You define the what is the status of TV, it's on or off. There have two function, on, okay. This will mark the status true. It means TV is on, while off. This will mark the status false. It means TV is false. And second will check the status. This will return the status of TV. So this is TV object. It's have their status on functionality, of functionality status. On, this means the status checked to true, it means the TV is on. Off, the status is checked to false, it means TV is off. And this will get the status of TV. What is the status of TV? So I will discussing the concept of high coupling. We create a class remote. So remote have and TV. This will use the TV object. I will create the constructor where I initialize to TV and TV on. TV have functionality on. This dot TV dot on, and of remote will use TV object dot off. Off. So this will also have an status. This will use the TV object to get the status. So return. So I will create an object of remote. R1 is equal to new remote. So when remote object is create, the TV object will also create. You will understand what when remote objects will create, TV object will also create. So this is called high coupling. What I discussed in previously, the TV object is properly dependent on A object. If TV object create, then A object will also create. If TV object destroy, then A object will also destroy. If TV object exists, then if remote object exists, then TV objects exist. This TV object are properly dependent on remote object. So in this this is the perfect example. Have TV remote have their own TV object. Its life cycle is dependent on TV life cycle is dependent on remote object. So when I create a remote object will create, and the remote will also create the TV object. This remote will create also a TV object. So TV object is properly dependent on remote object. in a high coupling. In a high coupling, if TV object remove, then remote if remote object remove, then TV object also remove. If remote object exists, then TV object also exists. So I hope you will understand this. If I on the TV, want to on the TV, I will call the on method of TV or remote. This will call the remote call method. This will call the TV on method, and this will turn on the TV. So if I use this to off the TV, sorry, off, this will off their own TV. So what is this? If I have there, I have a second remote. I have two remote and second remote, and I want to, sorry, R2 dot on. So I have a second TV object, remote object, and I want to use second remote object, then we will use the first TV object. So I in this process, in this example, will use this. No, I will not use this. This remote objects will create their own TV object. This remote object will create their own TV object, and this will use their own TV object, not use this object. So what is this? If I have a TV and I have a remote, and I use remote to control my TV, if my remote is not properly work, and I want to change my remote, then I will change the remote. So in this example, this will demonstrate, this will force me to uh, also buy a new TV. If you want a new remote, then you will also need to buy a new TV. I will properly dependent on remote object. TV is properly dependent on remote object. If I use this third remote object, then I will also buy third TV. So this is not a common sense that R2 object will not R2 object cannot be used R1 TV object. This R2 object use their own TV object. So properly got it. I think you understand properly. So this is called high coupling. High coupling, I repeat this. High coupling, what is high coupling? High coupling is the process of defining relationship between two objects in dependent way. That is, TV is properly dependent on remote objects, and its existence, a life cycle, lot of things. And R1 have their own TV and R2 have their own TV. They are handle their own TV. The objects are handle their own TV. So this is called high coupling. High coupling, each an object have their own life cycle in parent. So this is called high coupling. So in next I will discuss with you the low coupling concept. What is low coupling? So low coupling will start from this concept what is I discussed in previously. Low coupling is the process of defining the relationship between two objects in an independent way. What does mean independency? TV object independent to a remote object. TV object will not dependent on remote objects. If TV object have their own life cycle, own existence, remote have their own life cycle and own existence. So how to implement in this programming language? I will create a TV object. I will use this TV constructor. So this is the only thing I will change. I will create, and in high coupling remote have in remote have responsibility to create a TV object, but in low coupling each and every object have their own responsibility. One object will not responsible to create another object. In high coupling, one object is responsible of creating the object. In low coupling, one object is not responsible for creating the another object. I will create a TV object. TV is equal to new TV. So I will create the new remote object. So what is this remote object? Remote will use this TV object. So we have a one TV. We have a one TV and two remotes. This remote will use this TV object. Got my point? This remote will use this TV object because we are passing the TV references to this remote in a constructor, and this remote also use this TV object. So it means that TV object is not dependent on R1 and not on R2. This will use in another object furthermore. If I use remote 1 R1 to turn off the TV, then this R1 will use this TV turn off. And if I have a remote 2, second remote, I want to use this remote to turn off this TV, then I will use this to turn off this TV. So R1 will also use this TV object and R2 will also use this TV object. So this our problem is solved. If we have a one TV and we have a one remote, we use this remote to control the TV functionality. If if I buy another remote, then I will not this will not force me to buy another TV. I only buy the remote, and this remote will use my existence TV to control the TV. This will not force me to buy another TV whatever. I in this I have one TV and two remotes. Remote, that is, if I create if I buy another remote R3, new remote, and this remote will pass register the references of this TV, and this remote will use the existence of TV, this TV. So this is called low coupling. Low coupling means TV object is independent on another object, that is TV object have relationship with the remote object but is in independent way. So I think coupling, you are properly understand the concept of coupling in programming language. What is coupling, how to implement this in programming language, how to use this. So this is the basic concept of this. So let's come to the dependency injection. So what is dependency injection? Dependency injection is the process of passing the dependency of one object to the another object. It's process to develop a low couple application. So I will also discuss the two these concepts are related to each other. So low coupling are related to dependency injection. Though dependency injection is the process of passing the dependency to the another object, and it's have a main feature to develop a low coupled application to separate the business concept to develop the application in independent way. So dependency injection have main feature to is to develop a low coupled application, and each and every modules have their independent, make each and every modules to independent of each other. This is called dependency injection. So we will use this example to use dependency injection. So in the first point I am talked about the dependency injection is the process of passing the dependency of one object to the another object. So if we have a TV object and we have a remote object, so in this example I pass the dependency of TV object to the remote object. So this process is passing the dependency. So remote object will use this dependency to control this. So this is the dependency injection. I will pass the dependency of TV object to the remote object. This is also called low coupled, and dependency injection have a feature to develop a low coupled application, and is the feature to have developed independency modules. These modules are independent on each other. So dependency injection have implemented in programming way in three types. First called in constructor injection, second is property injection, and third is method injection. So first is already I discussed with constructor injection. We are passing the dependency of TV to the remote using the constructor. So that remote will use this object to use this dependency. This is called the constructor injection. This is called a dependency injection with constructor. So what is if I will use the property injection? Property injection is something public TV TV. So this is a property injection. We will remove this constructor. So this is a TV property injection. We will be passing the dependencies of a TV object to the remote object using property. So r1 dot TV is equal to TV. So this is the property injection. We will register the dependence of TV to the property, then R1 will use this TVA object to control the TV, and same things will done for this this R2 R2.tv. So this is called a property injection. The third is a method injection. We will use the method to pass the dependency to this object. We will create a object register TV this dot TV is equal to TV. So this is called property method injection. We will use method injection to register TV. So this is called method injection, where we will use method to register the dependency of the object. This is called the method injection. So this is called a dependency injection. So I hope you will understand this concept of dependency injection. I will revise this. Dependency injection is the process of passing dependency of one object to the another object. This is main features to develop low coupled application, that is each and every modules are independent on each other. So this is the dependency injection. So let's come to the third concept, inversion of control. What is inversion of control? So inversion of control is the process and techniques of lets the our framework our framework will take care of the responsibility or will decide the flow of execution of our program. So in I will not, I am not responsible to the use the flow of our program. I will not decide the what the condition, but the flow of program will use the our framework will take care of the these things to properly flow the execution of the program. Let's say if I develop an application, I control this. If switch, if one user press the one, then this object will create. If user press the two, then this object will create. It will use the properly if else condition. Though this is not inversion of control. Inversion of control is something that the our framework, third party framework, is the take care of responsible to control the flow execution flow of our program. So in I will discussing this with the example. First of all, we will start this. I have a TV, Samsung TV. I have a Samsung TV. Inversion of control, it's an interface. We create an interface, iTV. This interface have an method on, off. Samsung TV and extend TV, iTV. We will create one interface, that is iTV. This have status and on and off functionality. I will create second Samsung TV, extend from iTV status method. I will create class LG TV, extend iTV. This will also have their own functionality. Now it gives me the error. Then I will use third class, that is Samsung TV, LG TV, Acer TV. Let's say Acer TV, extend iTV. So I have three TV: Samsung TV, LG TV, and Acer TV. This TV have used same functionality, create the iTV interface, have status on, off. So you will I will uh, imagine that you have the property concept of what is interfaces, how to implement this. This is the interface iTV. We have their own, each and everything have their common functionality, that is on or off. So we have three TV and one remote object. Then I use this one remote object to control all of these three TV. So I will create TV, what is this? You will create void status. this example, mm, bool, this is returning in bool. So this example will demonstrate that we have a one interface, common interface, general. We have a one TV that is named Samsung TV, and second TV that is named LG TV, and third TV that is named Acer TV. We have one remote. Then we will use this remote object to control this TV, this TV, this TV. So what this? How do I do this? How do I do this? I will create. No, sorry. I will comment out. So I will use ITV TV is equal to new Samsung TV. First of all, we will use the get the status of from console dot read key. This user will give the input of what this will want to use TV, in which TV. So I will create an ITV TV is equal to new Samsung TV. I will use remote R1 is equal to new remote. So this remote object I will register TV ठीक R1 dot on R2 dot off 1 dot off. So I will create the remote object. I will register the remote objects to TV that you will need to use this TV object. This is called low coupling, passing the dependency. This remote object will use the on or off. So I will create a Samsung TV and pass the TV, and if I want to control this TV object to the LCD TV, then this object will also use the LCD TV. If I object will called Acer TV, what is this? Acer TV, then this will use the Acer TV. We will not need to modify the code of remote TV. We will use only one method to register this TV. So this is called inversion of control. So that is the remote object will decide the what object will use. I will simply pass the dependency of the concerned object, then this will use the also in if we will not implement inversion of control, we will use the method r1 dot register Samsung TV, then we will pass the Samsung object whatever, and I will use r1 dot register LCD TV, then we will create a third object, three method that we will use this is not an inversion of control. So what is this? If we have an 15 remote 15 TV, we will change the code of remote, we will change the create the method 15 method. No, this is not a properly thing. We will use only one method, that is this will use the I interface and an I interface, whatever this, I think you have properly understand the inheritance concept of OOP. This is called inversion of control. That is the remote object will take care of the use the execution of control the execution of the program, but when how the program will execute, how the program execute this take care of the their flow of execution. So this is the framework. Let's our framework will decide the uh, which code will use. If we have a 15 object, 15 TV, we have 100 of TV, we will create the 100 of TV, and we will only pass this TV object to this TV. So if we have a this TV, that is then this, we will not need to modify this code. So this is a reusability, this is a properly called inversion of control. So I hope you will understand these are properly concept. So if you not properly understand in this comment this video, please do not forget to subscribe and press on icon bell button. Please subscribe my channel to get more videos. I hope you are all fine. Okay, thank you.